Good morning, Washington. This is Big Dave here on Dave TV, DCRTV.com. And how y'all doing today? It's the 1st of November, 2011. Got some good stuff for you today. I don't know, I want to do a little rag today on that Examiner newspaper. This is yesterday's Examiner Halloween edition. One of my big pet peeves is when newspapers or other media organizations compare D.C. to the 50 other states. Yes, D.C. is an independent jurisdiction that is not a state, but when you see listings of comparing 50 states to D.C. or D.C. in the list, basically what you're comparing is 50 states with one city. Okay? That's what you're doing. D.C. is, a couple of square miles sitting there on the side of the Potomac. It's the size of a relatively small city. There's lots of cities that are bigger than D.C. And yet, you see all these things. So here's the Washington Post, or the Washington Examiner, excuse me, talking about comparing the number of lawyers in all 50 states with the number of lawyers in D.C. And, this paper has an agenda to make it look like, D.C. is liberal and lefty and is just lawyered out the kazoo, okay? And they compare D.C. and the District of Columbia has one lawyer for every 12 residents. Whereas when you compare it to New York State, they have one lawyer for 124 residents. And, of course, goes on and on and on. So there are so many more lawyers in D.C. that per capita than in any other state in the country. So this is one capital da-da-da-da-da. You're comparing apples and oranges, and I don't like this. Is a piece of crap article, and it's written by Brian Hughes, no relation. But it's a pile of crap article because it's comparing apples and oranges. If you want to do a legitimate story, you compare the amount of lawyers per capita in D.C. to other cities like Philadelphia or New York or San Francisco or whatever. That would be maybe a more legitimate story. But when you compare the little city of D.C. geographically with big states like California and New York and Texas, it's bullshit. It's one of my pet peeves when I see that. I go, you're comparing apples and oranges. This story is a piece of crap in a crappy little newspaper called The Examiner. Sometimes newspapers are worth the price you pay for them. The lesson learned there by The Examiner, sitting there clogging up your driveway. All right, folks. Just wanted to tell you that I never heard from Comcast. I bitched about Comcast yesterday on my Dave TV. Saying, the service went down completely on Sunday and how Channel 7 was missing from my lineup on Sunday night. The olden days, the folks at Comcast would have gotten back to me and said, explain to me what happened, or said, we're sorry, or whatever. Nothing. Dead silence. That is the new Comcast. A company that really just doesn't care about its subscribers. It really doesn't care. So what? We realize a bunch of people aren't going to like us. We don't care. We're too big. What the hell? I don't know, man. It's a maddening company. If somebody wants to get back to me, used to be I would send an email to the head of the Northern Virginia, and he would be really nice and get back to me. Sorry, Dave. Here's what happened. And get dead silence. They don't talk, no nothing. PR people don't even communicate with you. Nobody talks to you. It's just dead silence. We just hope everybody forgets about it. We suck, and we know it, and we're just going to keep our mouths shut. That's basically what they're saying. So, anyhow. Quickly, want to look at some radio ratings here. The new radio ratings are out today for the month of October. No big surprises in them. We got the 12-plus numbers up on DCR-TV today, DCRTV.com, so you can check them out. TOP is usually at the top. I'm not seeing anything earth-shattering in it. But anyhow, these are the 2554 numbers, which are the money demos. Okay? So anyhow, here's where they are. So if you care, you can hit the stop button to pause them on your. I'll do them like this. You can turn your head sideways and look at them. Okay, there they are. Okay. So turn your head sideways or turn your computer monitor or your monitor sideways and you can see all the numbers there. Anyhow, WTO. Here, these numbers here are the morning and afternoon drive numbers. So WTOP is first place in both morning and afternoon drive. Wash is second place, fifth place in morning, and third place in afternoon drive. And of course, you can see the other numbers. Hot 99.5 is in third place. WAMU in fourth place. They're second place in mornings, 10th place in afternoon drive. Okay, HUR, WWDC, Elliott there at fourth place in the mornings. Diamond and Carson are both in seventh place there on RQX, which is also seventh place. Tommy Griffiths there at 10th place on Big. Praise, MMJ. Okay, so Yolanda there is ninth place, and Ms. Jackson is sixth place. Tom Joyner is 12th place. This is the 2554 male-female money demo, and you can see all the numbers there. Okay, whatever. We got a three-way tie here for 14th place between GTS, LZL, and Fresh. A two-way tie here at 11th or 10th place, or three-way tie here. Excuse me, I don't know. It's a three-way tie there and a three. I don't know. It's a tie here between MMJ, PGC, and MZQ, and there they go. But anyhow, the interesting number here is WMAL. WMAL, if you look here, WMAL FM placed 20th place. Okay? But if you add up the WMAL's two signals, which are duplicative, a 1-3 and an 09 or an 08, you get a total of 2-1, which would place WMAL in 19th place. Okay? So we would rank it just above WFRE, bouncing WFRE down to 20th place. Okay, if you combine the WMAL signals on the 12 plus numbers, it shows them in 13th place in a total for 13th. But as you say, the problem is when you cut off the WMAL audience at 54, since so much of their audience is over 54, they really don't show as well in the 2554 demo. So if WMAL, AM, and FM were combined in the ratings, they'd be 19th place, which is a long, long way from WTOP. I mean, I think that moving of MAL to FM is step one in the process. If they're really concerned about getting ratings, they need to bolster their news department. They need to get a local and live and local afternoon drive show, and they also need to get a better morning show. There's significant improvements that need to be made there. Just reported on DCR TV yesterday that Ted Jaffee has passed away. Ted was a longtime Baltimore media figure. He was on the old WAAM, the previous Channel 13 there, before it was WJZ. Worked there for many years. Doing some news anchoring and stuff, but basically he's probably best known for his DJ gigs at with WITH 1230 and WCAO in the 60s, the big 60, and eventually came back to work at WITH when it had a nostalgic music format. And if you remember People's Drugstore, Ted was the voice on the People's Drugstore ads. The People's Drugstores went away a number of years ago and got bought out by CBS. But remember, back in the 70s and 80s, People's Drugstore, those ads were voiced by Ted. So Ted, and he also did some NASA stuff too. So been quite a Baltimore and Washington area media presence. These are some pictures that his son sent me. This is Ted in 1999. He lived in Naples, Florida. That's where he passed away yesterday at the age of 92. So we've got some photos here from Ted and a few other pictures. This is the one we ran on the website yesterday. This is Ted working at with radio in 1985, back when it had a nostalgic format. What does that say? Baltimore Radio Reunion Weekend. Oh, well, that's cool. I'd love to have heard that. This is Ted working at, I don't know what station this was, but it just says 1973. And here he is, quite a bit younger there. This is at WAAM, the old Channel 13, circa 1953. He was a station announcer and also did newscasts on the station. And quite a impressive photo there. And this is Ted circa 1952, back in his earlier days of broadcasting there. And here he is at WAAM in 1950. Very young man there, so very cool. So we got some cool pictures of Ted there. Ted Jaffee, a Baltimore media veteran, a legend, a great guy, passed away yesterday, Naples, Florida, the wise old age of 92. And you can read more about it on dcrtv.com. All right, folks, that's Dave TV for today, Tuesday, the 1st of November, 2011. Thanks for watching. Have a great one. Cut.